All right, Shalom. First off and foremost, as always, I want to say calling La Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushai Bahashem, Kakodash. Double honor being to the elder apostles, a great millstone that do rule and teach well. Of course, Shalom to Akim out there that's pushing his truth through the spirit, through the power, and through the name of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushai Bahashem, Kakodash. All right, so this is going to be a one and done kind of video, Actually, I might actually start, a new series, Laura's Will, of course, called One and Done. Basically just, starting off with one precept, and expounding on the precept, and just, going with the spirit, of course. All right. So, this will be this video will be titled "One and Done," Matthew 24. In verse 5. Verse 3. All right. Matthew 24 and verse 3. And it says, "And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came up to him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of that coming and of the end of the world?" Okay, so his disciples came unto him privately, to get answers. All right. And that goes to show you, that this word is so precious that, only a select remnant is only going to take heed and, understanding the scriptures. All right. Only the true men of Yahweh Shema Shai are going to know, the dark sayings, the parables of, the scriptures. All right. And, and at the time, disciples, Yahweh Shai's men, his followers, if you will, all right, that later became apostles, they were asking him, basically when is going to be the sign of that coming and of the end of the world, all right? And if you read down, Yahweh Shai says them, about pestilence, famines, war, okay, earthquakes in various places, all right? And real quickly, I just wanted to expound when it says, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? Okay, and for those of you that are new, and this truth, if you go real quickly, if you go into the word world on the blue letter Bible, it says
Strong's G 165, Ion.
It says Ion or Eon, okay, and the word, it says forever and unbroken age, a perpetuity of time. It says a period of time or an age. Okay, so, so they were asking, when is going to be, the end of this present age that we're living in. Okay, because, back in their time, they were in captivity, under, the Roman Edomites. Okay, but fast forward today, we're still in captivity still under Esau, but we are in Rome all over again. Okay, because this was because America is how do I say it? It was the wound. It was the deadly wound that was healed. Okay, coming back as Rome 2.0. All right, because America takes the customs of Rome. As far as the political system. Back during Rome, they had the plebeians and patricians. All right, now you have the Democrats and Republicans. All right, the infrastructures, we know with certain, pillars in their buildings and things like that. And also too, the eagle being their symbol. Okay, so we are in Rome all over again. Okay, so their disciples back in that time, in this particular context, they were, asking when is going to be the end of the Roman Edomites. Okay, and now we use the scripture, today. When it's going to be the end, of this world, all right? And Yahweh Shai gave the answers. If you read down, which I'm not going to read down, but, for time's sake, but if you read down from verse 4 to verse 8, all right, Yahweh Shai tells you, the signs and, to keep track of when, to keep track, to give us and to tell us that we're in the end. All right, and it's very clear that we're in the end, of and the Edomite age, this Edomite era. Okay, the Edomite infrastructure. All right, and also too, this place is bound to be overthrown. It's bound to be overthrown. And because why? Because it's privacy. All right, and also too that the words of the Lord of Yahweh Shema Shai are not going to return unto him void. Okay, because we are here through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, pushing privacy. Okay, pushing the holy gospel. Okay, of Yahweh Shema Shai. All right, so read it one more time. It says, and then he sat down upon the Mount of Olives. The disciples came up to him privately, okay, saying, "Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign that coming and of the end of the world?" Okay, and of the end of Esau's age, of Esau's eon. All right, and you can clearly see that we are, in the end, of this Edomite era. Okay, things are depleting. The American morale is diminishing. All right, the mirth of the land is gone. Okay, it's so called in the holidays, but it don't feel like it. It didn't feel like Halloween. It didn't feel like Thanksgiving, and nor does it feel like Christmas. All right, those spirits are gone. Okay, the Lord has stripped away the fun from you people. Okay, so now they have to what? They have to to resort to drinking more. They got to resort to to doing more opioids. Okay, so they're these people their world really particular the Edomites the Edomite world, because right now this is their heaven. Their heaven is turning into hell. Okay, because soon this heaven is gonna get turned upside down. Because why? Because you have Jacob's trouble. Okay, martial law, things like that. You have the FEMA camps coming in. Okay, Esau is gonna is gonna get turned inside out, man. Okay, America as the world as you know it is not going to be the same. Okay, because privacy is going to offset this place. All right. This is the book of 2nd Esdras 6:7, and it says, "Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times, or when shall be the beginning of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau." Okay, now like I said earlier, if you're new to this thing, to this truth, all right, if you read the book of Genesis, the 25th chapter, Rebecca had two children in her womb, all right, two brothers named Jacob and Esau, and Jacob being the patriarch, the forefather of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, and Esau being the patriarch or the forefather of the nation of Edom. Okay, and they were brothers. Okay, but they were two different people, two different nations. Came out of her womb. Okay, and they were they were wrestling, they were fighting inside her womb. But then when it was time for her to conceive and bear the children, all right, Esau came out first. All right, but then when Esau came out, Jacob followed, and as Jacob followed, his hand held the heel of Esau. Okay, and that was all symbolic of Jacob, which today the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, take it down, Esau's kingdom, because we are prophesying, about the end of this Edomite era, okay, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. So Esau's hill being held by our forefather Jacob, all right, that was all symbolic for a greater purpose, okay. And verse 9, it says, "For Esau is the end of the world." All right, and what does it say? Matthew 24 and verse 3. It says when it's going to be the end of this world. Okay, and where is the end? Okay, the scriptures say, it says let me get it real quick. It's on Matthew 24 and verse 14, and it says, "And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come." Okay, and clearly this gospel has been spread like wildfire, from America to Japan, from Japan to the Philippines, from the Philippines to Suriname, from Suriname to the UK, all right, to Canada, Mexico, Africa, and back to the US, all over, man. All right. This gospel has spread it like a rumor in high school, you know? So we're living in beautiful times, man. Called Lo Yahweh Shema Shai Ba Shimon Kakudash. So we are at the end of this Edomite era. Okay? Verse 9, it says, for Esau, the so-called white race, okay? It says for Esau is the end of the world. All right. And Jacob, who is the so-called minorities today, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and also too, Israelites that may look like other nations, okay, but their bloodline goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, okay, because you got to keep in mind pertaining to the curses as a people, we've been scattered, so our people are everywhere, okay, but if you look like a so-called white person, a Chinese person, East Indian person, but yet your spirit cleaves to this truth, then you are indeed an Israelite, and you are, of, the Most High's, family. All right, you are the Most High's chosen people. Okay, so don't let anybody, tell you otherwise or discourage you because you believe in this gospel of Yahweh Shema Shai. All right. So it says, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, meaning what? Meaning after Esau goes down, that's going to be the commencement of the kingdom of Israel. Okay, the kingdom of Jacob. Okay, the kingdom of Yasharallah that will be ruled by Yahweh Shai. All right, then under Yahweh Shai, King David. All right, then you have the 12, and then the 144,000. And then ultimately the rest of the nation of Israel. And then we all going to rule for all eternity, man. All right. And all righteousness and sincerity. All right. So with that being said, I just want to say, Kol La Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakudash. Double honor being to the elder apostles of the great millstone that do rule and teach well. And Lord's will, you were edified. And with that being said, Shalom.